Right, can you all hear us now? John, speak.
Hello. Hello. You wouldn't know anyway. Half these people are fucking wind-ups. No
No, I think
sounds.
it. I think he's working now.
Liam Allen says,
Is it?
we
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you
We. All right, this is all John's fault, everyone. Just so
now.
that you know.
Hang on. So again, Mr. I'm in charge, and everyone's
Yeah.
telling me we can't hear each other, and you're manning the posts of it all. Yeah, you're the one in charge, and it's my fault again.
Yeah.
Easy
Well,
to
it
blame me.
weren't supposed to be. It's just your fucking laptop don't work. Right, I've got to try and get rid of these Christmas hats. Hang on 1 minute. Shall I leave the Christmas hats on?
Yeah,
Fucking
because I feel
hell.
festive. I feel festive because Potter's coming, so why not?
Yeah, go on then, mate. So Potter's come in. It's all been announced. It's
Yeah,
all been announced. How
yeah,
you feeling?
absolutely over the moon. And I know there's a lot of doubters out there. There always is, But if you saw his presser today, why do they fucking call it a presser? Just call it a press conference. Anyway, if you saw his press conference, a lot of what he said is what we want to hear. Now, I know people say that that's just sound bites, but I sort of believe him. I think he seems like a very likable man. I've done a lot of digging on him. He's very much about the team being part of a family. He likes everyone to feel part of it.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic manager, apparently, and I think it's just great to have a fairly young
Yeah.
English manager in charge, and or British even. I think it's great. I'm really looking forward to it, and I just hope that people will give him time because it's going to take time.
I think he will get time. I think the feeling, the positivity around this, even the vast majority of people, look, I was one of them. Didn't want Potter, but even me, right? He's come in, and I don't know why. It can't just be because it was Lopetegui, because we had Moyes before, and Lopetegui came in. I didn't want him. It's just something about this guy. I feel like he was overlooked maybe because he had a glamorous name, and now we've started looking at him a little bit deeper, and you're listening to the guy talk, and after having Moyes and Lopetegui, who are two different types of character, they're sort of quite brash. They're I don't know, they're an old fashioned managers, if you like.
Old school,
This
yeah.
this guy just seems he just seems really relaxed, really fucking intelligent as well. I've got to figure out how to get rid of these Christmas hats. They're pissing me off. Really intelligent, and I just think he's going to have. And if you watched that training video earlier on, did you see the behind the scenes video?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't just him, right? If you look at his selection of people that he's got with him. So he's got that bald Bruno, he's got his first team coach and his assistant coach. Every single one of them, they seem relaxed. They've got a smile on their face. They look like they've got a similar demeanour to him. And it just looked, the training ground, I mean, I know you're going to get that. A massive weight's been shifted off of the players and everything else. But the guy just seems, I don't know.
If you look at that, I think it's very important because I don't remember Lopetegui being on the training pitch all smiles and that at any time.
No.
Not blaming him. That might just be his demeanour. But I think we've gone from two very old school managers, two very sort of, maybe shouty at times and all that. And I know Moyes was loved by the players for the cup and all that, but I think that Potter's intentions is to bring a togetherness back, is to bring the enjoyment back. If your players aren't enjoying the training and the matches and the football, they're not going to be enjoying themselves. And it's so important, particularly for players like Paqueta and Kudus, to be enjoying their football. It's their job. You want to enjoy your job, otherwise you wouldn't want to do it. You hate your job, you move on. You know
100%.
what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I just think he's there to bring us back together. It's important that there's a sense of togetherness. Like I said, right, I was very much of the opinion it should be a West Ham manager coming in, like someone with a West Ham link, because there's that sort of discord between fans, players, club, etc. Potter, as much as he hasn't got any West Ham connections, we just want a likeable bloke, and he seems like he's a likeable bloke. Bilic was a likeable bloke. And you want someone there who's going to galvanise them, but in a different sort of way. A lot of, rightly or wrongly, a lot of players these days need an arm around their shoulder. And it's just the way football is, right? We have to accept that. And I think that he looks like he's going to do that. And I think it's great that he's brought in his coaches that he's worked with before. They're from different parts of the world, so there's a differences of culturally in the coaching staff is important as well. You've got your British English manager, you've got your Spanish and other overseas coaches coming in, so they tick all the boxes, and that will help the squad because the squad is not emotional, isn't it?
There is one more box that he's going to tick as well, according to X, because obviously he's brought in how many members of staff? 4?
4, yeah.
There's 4 he's brought in. Apparently, he does want a member of the West Ham team to join that coaching staff as well. So whether that's going to be, I don't know, Kenny Brand, Steve Potts, whoever that is, he's
already there. He wants someone.
He wants someone to come in and basically, come and join the first team. So again, that's good as well. I mean, that shows. Because he spoke about that in his press conference. He spoke about collaborating, didn't he? Whereas we've had sort of Moyes before, we know these people. They like to handle everything. He strikes me as somebody that will thrive working as part of a big team. He'll leverage everybody's skills. He'll bring the best out in everyone. And I just think even Stein, who's definitely getting a bit of a bad rap. I'm completely fucking torn on Stein at the moment. I don't know what to believe, what not to believe. All we know is what we know, and it hasn't worked since he's been in. But I think that Potter is a guy that's worked in this scenario before. He's fine working with a director of football. It doesn't bother him. This probably, I think,
makes the relationship easier, doesn't it?
This could work. It could. If Starting is going to be here, none of us know. The bridges might be burned. He might go. But this is the type of coach that should have been in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
That type of coach.
Yeah, but I can't. I'll be surprised if Steidem goes, because Steidem was obviously part of the committee that interviewed him, wasn't he? There's that photo of him with Potter, so I don't think he'd be going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I can't see that. I think it's important. Listen, Steidem needs to work with someone who is used to working with a director of football. As you said, Potter is that man, and if they're all pulling in the right direction, they all get on with each other. That's the most important thing. There can't just be one voice. No. You have to embrace all of the opinions. We was always on at Moyes for seemingly not listening to his coaches around him and falling out with coaches. He
fell out with them, didn't he? I mean, he was going. It was like a constant conveyor belt of people.
Exactly. So Potter seems receptive to ideas and opinions and enjoys working as part of the team. Do you know what I mean?
Big Phil thinks that Staunton's a grass.
Why? Grass for what? Grass.
Thinks he's a grass. But yeah, no, look, I've not felt about. It's so weird, right? Do you remember Paolo Paul, who left West Ham and he's gone to Leyton Orient? We told the story. Yeah. Well, I spoke to him today. I spoke to him. He messaged me. I said, "How's it going? How's it going, Paul? Are you still out of love with West Ham?" They went, "Nah, they've reeled me back in." So just like that, that's what I mean. People pretend, and you don't pretend because it hurts you. It hurts your feelings, but it don't take much, does it? No. We're not that hard to please, And what this has given us is a little bit of hope, and not just hope, but belief, because I think people can see what this guy is about. He weren't just ticking boxes in that interview. He was speaking like he understands, John. He was speaking like he genuinely understands what his job entails, what he needs to do for the fans. I like the fact that he said that we what was the terminology that he used? Not that we're intelligent, but that we know our knowledgeable. He said we're knowledgeable fans. We know what we want. We've got to have an identity with the team that are on the pitch. He knows.
Any manager worth their salts knows. Walking into that stadium knows that if you've got the fan base behind you in such a huge stadium like that, that can be such a factor. That can be such an important, integral part of what happens to us going forward. Do you know what I mean? And he wants to not only engage the players, he wants to engage the fan base, because he realises the importance of us, and he's aware that there's a bit of a discord, like I said. He obviously made reference to that as well. He wants to bring the fans in. Brighton is a lot of, with all due respect, Brighton's a lot smaller as a club, and maybe it's easier to galvanise that unity. This is going to be a bigger task for him, because we're 60,000 sort of fractured fans, if you like, to some extent. But I think that he can do it. I genuinely think he can, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it before the press conference, but listening to it, and honestly, I've been making noises like a child at Christmas, just randomly, like I got Tourette's or something. Honestly,
I think this guy is going to end up loved. I think we're going to learn to love him. Yeah, he's not that big brash character. I said that on a show, one of the fucking million shows I've done in the last few days. He's not that big, brash sort of Mourinho character that's sort of out there to get the media limelight himself. That's not him. But I think he comes across as, I don't think he's boring. I just think he's quite he's just quite, he's quiet. I think he's an interesting guy. He's got a degree in psychology. I watched a YouTube video with Steve Sidwell earlier on. This was from a year, 2 years ago, before he joined Chelsea. And Steve Sidwell knows him. He's obviously played at Brighton. He knows the players that were there as well. And they said, "Do you think it's going to be a good fit?" And he said, "Well, look," he said, it's a big jump up. He said, "It is a big jump up." He said, "But I do think that this guy could do it." He said, "Because it is, at the time," he said, "Chelsea was a fractured dressing room. Nobody likes each other. It was a complete mess. There's all new people coming in, new faces." And he said, if anybody can resolve that situation, it is Potter. He said, because the guy has got amazing, how did he say it? Emotional intelligence like I've never seen. He said his connection with players and identifying and people and being able to communicate with them, manage them. He said there is no one like him. He said he is unbelievable. He said at the time he said it was Lallana and Welbeck. He said I've just got off the phone to Lallana and Welbeck, and he said they're fucking raving about him. He said they said he's absolutely fantastic in terms of his coaching and his ideas and everything else, but probably more so on the personal level. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like you, going back to what you said earlier on, where all these players now, they've all got to be managed different. Some of them are sensitive souls. It's important to have that in your armoury, isn't it?
In your locker, 100%, mate. 100%. I mean, look, some of our most loved managers over the years have been great man managers. I mean, Harry Redknapp was one of the best. A little bit of strange methods at time, but he realised the importance of getting the players on side individually, and then that enables them to come together as a team. Yeah. We've all said this season that the players look disenchanted, maybe confused, lost. Who knows? And I think that if you bring the element of fun back, I think that's important, mate. I really genuinely do.
And he said that as well. He said the players have got to start enjoying their football again, didn't he? He mentioned that earlier. He said because if the players are enjoying their football, then it will come across on the pitch, and I think you can see that as well. We all notice the players' body language. You can tell that they're pissed off, can't you?
Yeah, 100%, mate.
You can tell they're not happy.
There's no way that 100% of those players can all go backwards. There's not one player. There's not one player this year. No. Maybe Somerville because it's his first season. If he's done well, but all the others, in my opinion, have not got anywhere near what I think they can do. Genuinely,
no. And the only players, and I insist, and this isn't me being a bitch, right? When you've got a team or a setup full of talent, if your worst players are looking good, they're the ones that you're noticing. Basically, the grafters, the ones that don't really do much, but they're the ones that are standing out, i.e. Soucek. If he's the one that's standing out, there's a problem, John. Because he shouldn't be. He's a veteran. He's a veteran carrier. He should not be.
I know what you're saying. The flair players should be standing out, etc. I get that. But mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. I really. People are going to say, "Where can we go this season?" All that. We could push for Europe, but I think that's a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to start going top 7, top. We've got to be realistic. We've got to be realistic here. For me, the most important thing is to get through tomorrow. He hasn't had a lot of time with the boys. No. And if we get through tomorrow, I think we could have a good cup run.
I actually fancy it. The only thing I'm disappointed with, for some reason I had it in my head that Villa had a game coming up pretty quickly. They haven't got a game until 5 days after this one, so they can go full tilt. Whether or not they will or not, I don't know. They've got other priorities, haven't they? But I just kind of... I don't think it matters, though. I don't think it matters. I think we're not... On our day with the players that we've got, we'll do another show on this, but you know the video I sent you the other day, John?
Yeah.
It'd be better if I could put a graphic up. But essentially, many of you have probably seen this anyway, but what we've been calling out for on steroids, okay? So in the way that Graham Potter has typically played throughout his career, his favoured way of playing is a 3-4-3. And the way that this guy suggested that it would be perfect for Potter to set up, with all the players available, so Bowen back and everything else, would be to have Areola playing, obviously in goal, not up front, but playing more of like a sweeper keeper. So this might be the area that we need to address because I don't know whether Areola can do that, more so than Fabianski. But it's you kind of do need your goalkeeper coming out. But then you play a back three. He said Kilman on the left side of centre back because that is where he's best. That's where he was best at Wolves. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, absolutely right side of centre back. He's got pace. He's nobody can take him on. He's great at one-on-one challenges. And he said, Todibo in the middle. And then he said, what the way that Potter typically plays is with 4 central midfielders, 2 deep, 2 advanced. Basically 2 CDMs and 2 number 10s. One of the CDMs is typically a destroyer, Alvarez or Guido, whichever one. And then the other one next to him is like a progressive player, combative but progressive, somebody that can play on the half turn to transition you up the pitch, someone who's got the ball playing ability to trigger attacks from deep. Then you play with 2 number 10s. We've been calling for 1, Kudus and Paqueta in the fucking 10. Bowen on the right, Somerville on the left, and Fulkrug or whatever striker of the millions that we're linked with up front. John, mate, how mouthwatering is that though? Because these wide players are wingers; they're not wingbacks.
No,
so
they are
that is attacking. That is attacking.
Listen, there's been talk all night on Sky Sports and on Talk Sport all day about West Ham going into the transfer window and all that, and we probably do need a couple of players right here and there, right? But that is a good. We do have. I disagree. I think we do have a good squad, but I just think they've been. I hate this saying, but square pegs round holes the whole season pretty much. And I think that Potter is not, as much as he's got favoured formations, I think he has played other formations as well. And I think that he'll adapt what I think he will play with the strengths of the players he's got. Whatever he decides to do will be based on what he's got around him. I don't think he's scared about. What I mean is, if he ain't confident in either of our keepers playing like a sweeper keeper, he may jog that on a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe coach Areola to be better than he already is. But I don't think he's akin to working with what he's got. But
he's always done that. He's always done that. He'll adapt. He'll adapt.
Adaptability, yeah. But yeah, I mean that lineup that you gave out and that formation would be absolutely mouthwatering on its day.
Yeah, and there's a I can't remember because I've watched so many videos on it, but it was somebody that knew Graham Potter as well in his time at Brighton. They said he is a director of football's dream because what he will do is he will work with the club. He sees more than results as part of his so developing players is a big passion of his and making the club money. He sees everything as his job. So what I'm saying is a director of football can go out and find a gem somewhere, find this amazing winger, and then he can bring him to the club and say, Graham, this player is going to be worth a fortune for the club. It's going to be good for the club. We need you to develop him. He will work that player into the team.
Yeah.
He will. So this is what I mean. You need that, I think.
Yeah, I think that I just watched on Sky Sports before we come on. One of the I think he was the Guardian sports journalist, football guy. He was saying that what Potter doesn't mind doing is he's very good at telling players or getting players into the club who have come from, Ecuador, let's say, for example.
Yeah.
And he'll say to them, look, if you give me 2 years, invest in me for 2 years, who knows where you can go. So he sells the story to them of that if you do well here, the progression is obvious where you could go next. Now, I know we don't like to hear that.
He's got a proven track record of doing it as well.
Yeah, and he enjoys doing it. And if you say to a player, look, if you invest in me like I invest in you, you can go to the top. And players want to hear that individually. Players want to hear that, especially if they're coming.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
And we might not want to be a selling club. And I've never been one for
John Kudus didn't come to West Ham to finish his career at West Ham.
No, exactly that. And we've got to be not naive about that. Do you know what I mean? We've got to realise that there are bigger clubs above us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, seeing all these supposed links with people like Marcus Rashford, to me, that couldn't be any further from what I want at the moment. Players like that, with all due respect. I don't think it'll happen, and there's obviously rumours. But when you see links like that, for me, that's a no-no. I want to see fresh new players who I don't know, possibly. Do you know what I mean?
I do, but then again, if Potter's up for it and he thinks that he can get something out of him in a loan, to the end of the season, it'll be massively. What I do know about this Rashford loan is it's a big chunk. I think the majority of his wage,
£350,000 a week.
But the majority of his wage is covered by Man United. So wherever he goes, they'll be covering 150 to 200 grand of it. So it's still expensive because it's going to cost you 100 grand, 100 grand a week.
Yeah, that would be more within our budget, 100 grand a week. But for me, I don't know. I'd rather not.
No, I'm the same. But as a stopgap, you saw what happened with Lingard. This is, if it was a short-term loan, then again, it's a shop window for Rashford. It's in his best interest to show that he can.
Yeah, maybe there is that. Yeah, maybe there is that.
I would rather not. I think there's better options out there. I'm with you. I don't really want to go down that route.
Earlier on, I was watching Stell on his channel, and he had Sean Whetstone on, our favourite friend Sean Whetstone.
Yes.
And Sean said he can't see the Rashford thing happening. Senior source says.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, that's way too fucking. How can he be earning that money? Because just talking about Rashford for a minute, I know he when he burst on the scene, loads of talent, but him for me, he's a typical example of a player that never realised his potential.
Never really fulfilled it. No,
he hasn't done it. You know, I don't think he's got any better than what he did when he burst on the scene.
Well, he did have that season when his contract was up for renewal where he hit 30 goals, but then he got the contract.
Yeah,
then he got the contract, and then he didn't score 30 goals or anywhere near it.
He activated his invisibility clause.
No, exactly that. I mean, look, Hammers Mikey will see the best of Kilman. I know you've had your opinion on Kilman, but genuinely, I think a lot of players have gone backwards because of Loppe. I'm sorry.
No. Look, I completely agree with you. For me, everyone gets a clean slate now. They do. Yeah. You've got to look at it again, because under Moyes and under Lopetegui, because Lopetegui is very similar to Moyes in the way that he approaches football. I think that's why he struggled so much, because he's come in under a commitment to try and make us a more progressive team. And all he's been doing for fucking however many games it is now, he's been stat padding, because he's one of his mandates was to make us a more possession-based team. So it's been holding onto the ball in safe areas. He's ticking the box. It's fucking cheating. You know, there's no point in holding the ball there, is there? None.
No, it's like possession for possession's sake, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he's just been stat padding. That is literally it. And I'm glad it's done. You know, best of luck to him for the future. I think
he's got a good payout out of it. You can't feel sorry for managers. They do get a lot of money.
Hell.
You know, he'll get paid his compensation and that. So at the end of the day, you wouldn't mind being in a job where you get millions of pounds for being shit at it, would you?
Ultimately, the total cost, so I'm told, with his, because he had a big signing on bonus, is 8 million. Now I don't know whether he's been paid in a lump, because what they can do is either pay him, or knowing Sullivan, he'll just pay him over the duration. Carry on paying him his wage.
Same as Chelsea did with Potter.
Yeah. Carry on paying him his wage, but I'm just glad it's done. I never dreamed I would be this excited again, though, and I actually am. You know, and I ain't expecting. Yeah, but I'm not expecting much either. So I'm not expecting us to beat Villa. I think we can. I wouldn't be surprised if we did go out. You get that new manager bounce, bang, we're off and running. There is a little bit of discontent at Villa at the moment. I do know that, because there's a lot of players that they're looking to try and push out and replace. They're looking to freshen up. So you don't know. I don't think they're doing all right, but they're not as fluid as they have been.
No, but they're in a lot of competitions. They're in the Champions League, so it will take its toll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they will have moments where they're, not on form. But obviously, people are sniffing around their strikers again, aren't they?
Yeah. So, well, all of them. So Duran, Watkins, and Bailey are all up for grabs. Shall I run through the list? I can't give you any information on these because I haven't done any research on them.
The list of strikers that we're apparently linked with.
This is the list of strikers that we're linked with. Now, this doesn't mean that we've put bids in. We haven't put bids in for all of them. These are the strikers that are on the table that they're looking at and considering going in for. There's a fucking load of them.
Some of them, I'll be honest with you, some of them I've never heard of.
No, I know. A lot of them are France based as well.
French based.
French based, yeah. What did I say?
France.
Same thing.
Such an ignoramus.
I know. Right, here we go. Right, so the one that really annoyed me was the one that Russie B broke earlier on, because we've known about that for a while. So that was Conrad Harder. He is a 19-year-old Danish player that plays for Sporting Lisbon. I think Russie B said that he's rated at about. He ain't going for 50 million. Not a chance. I think this is his first kind of
it won't be nowhere near that,
Really, really kicked on. He scored 9 goals, got six assists. But what a fucking talent! Go and have a look at him. 19 years
50
old.
million?
Yeah, not a no.
We've
That's what Rusty B said. It won't, because Chelsea and Arsenal are looking at him. Of course they are. You know, they look at trying cleaning up all the talent. He is a top fucking player. Like, really, really good. But he's young. He's young. It's a big. If it's anywhere near that, you can't go near it, because if we spend a lot of money, it has to be guaranteed to work, and you can't guarantee that a kid's going to come in and kick straight on. The other one, John will roll his eyes, is Duran. It's unlikely. It's unlikely because he's worth a lot now. You think we could have had him for 30 million a few months ago, but Sullivan just wouldn't pay the extra.
Ship sailed now, don't it?
Yeah, it's still on the table. He basically, what it is with Duran. No, what it is with Duran, the situation, because don't forget, this is we do know a little bit more about this one. Duran will not go to another club where he is not going to be the main man. He could have gone to Chelsea or Newcastle when we was linked with him and trying to get him. Wouldn't go to Newcastle because of Isaac. Wouldn't go to Chelsea because he didn't even think he could get in front of Jackson. Man City are interested in him now, but he's basically gone, fuck off. You've got Ireland. He don't want to go anywhere and sit on the bench.
Reassurances that he's number one striker.
He wants to be number one, and that's the thing. So when you look at that, also there's 2 Saudi clubs that are in for him. He don't want to go to Saudi. He's got no interest. PSG are after him as well. He don't want to go PSG. At this stage of his career, he just wants to play, and he wants to be the main man. And if he did come into West Ham, he'd be the fucking main man. He really, really would. And I don't know many other clubs, but I don't know many other clubs that can offer him that though, John. But if let's say 60 million, let's say that the figure is 60 million.
Arsenal.
What would he? Do you reckon he would be guaranteed to start?
Well, everyone goes on the fact that they haven't got a striker. Havertz,
possibly Arsenal. Possibly Arsenal. Yeah.
Possibly Arsenal for me. I think that would be more of a tempting offer for him, wouldn't it? I'll burst your bubble now, haven't I?
You have. You've straight away. You just fucking you just done it. Yeah.
Arsenal,
that would probably work for him. Yeah. All right.
I think you're forgetting Danny Ings, though, mate. Could he get in over Danny Ings?
I don't think so. But yeah, look. So Duran is still on the table. So that is going to run and run and run. There is another one that I don't really know much about, but this is somebody that we know Tim has been chasing, and that is Igor Jesus, Brazilian player. He likes him. The other one, which is the player that we was linked with before Duran in the summer, is Samu on Meridian, the one that went to Atletico Madrid, didn't he, last summer, and then now he's at Porto, banging him in. We couldn't get him on loan. We could only go and get him for a similar amount of money. You're looking at between 40 and 50 million, but we could get him. I know that much. And he's a player that we admire, player that we like. So on Meridian we could get, but it would not be cheap he's not going to be cheap anytime. He's a fucking top player. The other one, I haven't got his first name here, but his name is Omega, right? I'll spell it for you. Emegha. I think it's Strasbourg.
He's the one we looked at the showreel the other day with Mickey, wasn't it?
He's fucking massive, isn't he? Like the geezer's, I think he's like 6'5", rapid. He's got all the tools. Really, really exciting young player as well. So Emegha, Strasbourg. Rashford's on the list as well. We've just spoken about him. The other one is Calimundo. Plays for either. This is not a good update, but he plays for a French team, Calimundo. But I looked at him, looked at his showreel. That's all I've done. He looked good. He's 5'10", really nippy player, very tricky. Looked fucking brilliant. Highly rated. Ollie Watkins, believe it or not.
He's 29, isn't he? 29.
He's 29, yeah. So Ollie Watkins is also on the table as well. They're talking about the potential for that, but that wouldn't be cheap. You'd be looking at 40 million.
But do you think? But I mean, realistically, do you think Villa are going to look to sell anyone when they're in all the competitions at the minute?
No, they've got their eyes on a couple of blinding strikers in this window. But
January, you're talking about?
Yeah, they would have to sell. They would have to sell to buy. Yeah. The other one is a player called Guessand. Again, plays in the French league. Guessand. This is a list of strikers, everyone. Arthur Cabral, we all know about. We've been linked with him before. He plays for Benfica. Yilmaz ain't even he's not a striker, but a great player. He plays for Galatasaray. He can play up front. Yeah, really good player. And the other one is Lete Lef, but I think it's called on that front. I think that one we can cross off because Again, they don't seem to want a short striker. I think he's too small. Anything
I think
anyone under five.
I think you need a bit of a specimen, especially in the Premier League. I always do.
Yeah, anyone under 5'10", they're crossing off the list. I mean, what about Aguero? You know, he was 5'9".
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. You know what? You know what was interesting for me? I didn't even realise till the other week that Victor Osimhen is on loan at Galatasaray.
Osimhen?
Osimhen is on loan. He's on loan.
He's not.
Mate, he's on Napoli's books, and they sent him on loan at the start of the season to Galatasaray, and he's got 10 goals in 12 games. Why is he on loan in Turkey?
Fuck knows.
He must have fallen out with someone. But I tell you what, if he's available, you give him a look. You're
looking at 100 million. He's got to be worth 100 million.
Well, not if he's on loan at Galatasaray. With all due respect,
well, they're probably the only ones that are paying him big. They're paying big wages at the moment, so he's only on loan there. They're just babysitting him, aren't they? Right. So there is something that we can do very, very quickly. Right. So in the Harry Potter theme. So I'm going to clarify. Do you know anything about Harry Potter, John? Or are you not a?
Do I look like the type of person that watches Harry Potter? Never.
Yeah, okay.
You haven't, yeah.
What we're going? I've watched them all because of the kids. Yeah. Right, so sorting hat selection. So if Graham Potter had to sort the West Ham squad into Hogwarts houses, who's Gryffindor, who's Slytherin, and who's the Hufflepuff? Still learning how to pass the ball, and does Fulkrug have Ravenclaw potential? So to clarify what these houses are, Gryffindor, right, the legends. If you're Gryffindor, you're a hero. If you're not, don't even try to put yourself in this category. Slytherins are the ones who know how to play the game off the pitch even better than they do on it. Ravenclaw, example, if you're in Ravenclaw, you've got ideas, but ideas without execution mean nothing. Hufflepuff, examples are Hufflepuffs are the players you'd happily buy a pint for, but also buy them a ticket out of the club.
Well, I know you'd buy a ticket out of the club for.
So let's do Hufflepuff first, the deadweights. So Hufflepuffs are the players you'd happily buy a pint for, but also buy them a ticket out of the club.
Well, for me?
For you. Go on. If you think now Potter is...
Sufal. Who else? Sufal. It pains me with Cresswell. I love Cresswell, mate. He's been a great he's been a great servant, but yeah, look, he's going to go at the end of the year anyway. So yeah, Cresswell.
Yeah.
Cresswell, Sufal.
Mavropanos.
Yeah, Mavropanos. I think Hammers Mikey absolutely hates him, doesn't he? Jesus. But
he does.
But
Andy Irving.
The thing is with Irving, right? When he's come on, he's looked okay.
He has. He actually has. It's like that game he came on the other day. What he put the best cross of the night in. He'd only been on for 2 minutes against Liverpool. Yeah. Like, fucking hell, where'd that come from?
Look, Hammers Mikey said Mavro, Cresswell, Sufal. Same as me there, look.
Right, so they are the Hufflepuffs. Okay. Yeah. So let's do Ravenclaw. So these are the players with flashes of genius but lack consistency. They're the ones you keep around just in case they finally unlock their potential, but they can't afford too many more quiet performances. So if you're in Ravenclaw, you've got ideas, but ideas with execution mean nothing. Do we have anyone that would go in Ravenclaw?
Paqueta at the minute on current form.
Yeah?
On current form, it'd be Paqueta. We know he's got the potential, needs to show it a bit more, be a bit more consistent. That would definitely be Paqueta for me. And you leave him hanging around not being funny. We've said for a while, should he be dropped? And your argument is leave him in case he has that moment of brilliance. But
I think that's the reason that's the reason he is left in there, though, isn't it? Because he ain't been performing well for a while.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. But I've always had the argument that when someone's that out of form, are you doing more damage than good consistently playing them? And you know, I mean, Corral's mentioned Paqueta as well there. To be honest,
yeah. No, it is an obvious one. Look, I accept he's not been right for a while. He ain't been right for a while. Right, Slytherin. The survivors. These are the players who may not always shine, but somehow stick around. They've mastered the art of survival, whether through versatility, political manoeuvring in the squad, or occasionally turning up just when fans are about to lose faith. Slytherins are the ones who know how to play the game off the pitch even better than they do on it. Do we have anyone that fits in Slytherin?
That's a tough one.
That's a difficult one, isn't it? That's a tough one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is that like a slippery? So traits: ambitious, cunning, and willing to do whatever it takes to stay relevant.
Alvarez.
Yeah. What about
Because a lot of people,
Caduce?
I mean, this is not my opinion, but a lot of people say like he's almost getting yellow cards on purpose sometimes to
Yeah,
show that he
yeah.
cares. Like
Oh,
silly
that's
free.
true. That's true. Yeah,
That's not my
yeah.
opinion. I'm trying to think of a fan base wide one, but that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. Danny Ings
Danny Ings, yeah, he's
lets,
definitely one of them.
lets you
Right, so
know
the
he's
final,
around by warming up every game.
so the final one is Gryffindor, the legends. Traits: brave, bold, and always delivering in the big moments. If you're in Gryffindor, you're a hero. If you're not, don't even try to put yourself in this category. So who would you put in Gryffindor?
At the current squad, one Bowen for me.
Just Bowen.
Yeah, I think he
See,
turns up more regular
that's a
than others.
see that alone. That don't that make you worry a little bit?
We're overly reliant on Bowen, but we know that. I don't know what the percentages are, but he must be involved in a very high percentage of our goals, whether he's scoring them or creating them. For me,
Mm.
he must be involved in an awful amount of goals.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, this is going to be quite. I mean, for us as fans, when's the last time Bowen's been out of the team for such a long time? He's going to be out for a couple of months. Is that right? March or so.
Yes, yeah.
So someone else needs to step up, don't they?
Yeah, I mean,
More
look, we have got options. What are your thoughts on? Have you got much hope for Guillaume this season, or do you think if anyone can develop him,
we're not
Potter
going to.
will?
I don't think. Well, look, the management's changed now, so hopefully the manager will, survey his squad and give players game time and bring players in that maybe Loppy was overlooking for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see if any players who have been, if you like, bit part players in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, get more game time because Potter either gets more out of them or sees more in them. Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
football's football's a game of opinions. We know that. So what one manager sees, another manager might not. So that's the beauty of it
Can you see
sometimes.
Fulkrug sticking around, or do you think? I mean, it does sound like he's gone. It sounds like he's off.
Genuinely, I've seen moments with Fore that I think he is a fantastic link-up play, fantastic striker to hold the ball
Yeah,
up and link it up and all that. I've said it before. I know we haven't seen the best of him. I'd like him to stick around because I think that we need to give a striker a bit of time for once. We don't seem to have any patience with strikers, let's be honest.
no.
And I think, I'm not saying he's going to be world class or he's a world beater, but I think he can do a good job for the team, yeah. I mean, he scored 2 goals and he's hardly played.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I haven't looked at in terms of Potter is the records of these strikers, because what I mean is in what capacity does he use a striker? Does he use a striker as a foil, a hold-up player to bring wide players in who grab the goals, a little bit like Moyes, or is it supplied a striker?
Well, if you look at Welbeck's never been a prolific goal scorer, is he?
No.
So Welbeck was very much used as a foil, a link-up man
Yeah.
with him at Brighton. And I think that with Brighton, I mean, even now with Brighton, really, their goals are very much shared around.
Yeah.
So I think, I think what you're saying is right. I think he uses a striker as a foil, as a link-up man, rather than a 20-goal a season man. Don't get me wrong. Every manager would want a 20-goal a season man, but I think Fulkrug is the perfect foil for the players around him if he can be used correctly, basically.
So what we're saying is the ideal striker is the one that was just involved in a car crash, really. If you look at that if you look at Antonio Caduce, because I think Antonio was so underrated with the chaos that he used to cause. If you'd have ever had him in this scenario, because he was always up front on his own, John. If you was to have Antonio up front occupying centre backs with Caduce, Paqueta behind him, Bowen on the right, Somerville on the left. Imagine the fucking terror he'd be pulling defenders all over the place.
100%, mate. But you've got to remember he's 34 now. He ain't.
Yeah.
I don't think
He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
I love Antonio. Of course I do.
Yeah.
I can't see there being many incomings in the January. I mean, January is a funny time to buy anyway, isn't it? So we might get a couple of loans. We might get a couple of freebies if there's anything out there.
Yeah,
I can't see much business happening.
They're played in poverty like they do every window. We have got money to spend, but we'll utilise the loan market. That will happen.
Yeah, you got to.
But one thing that I do know is that Potter has said that he wants to have a look at what we've got in the club, because he knows the gaps that need filling. So he wants to have a look at what we've got in the academy. He wants to have a look at everyone in the squad to see if he can fill the gap, some of the gaps from within, i.e. midfield, and some of the other areas. Potts has apparently got a recall clause. I didn't know that.
Well, I said that to you earlier, didn't I? A lot of times when managers come in January, they literally call all the players back from loan because they want to see everything they've got.
That is an instant. That's dreamland, John. Imagine that. Like you come in and all of a sudden, because you're talking about your connection, or the connection to the fans is a player on the pitch, is an academy player, part of that team. That's a connection there and then. So I mean that would be fucking amazing. You can't tell me that Potts wouldn't be better than Souček or fucking Git. I say, do you know what? I have grown really unimpressed with. There's one player I'm concerned about now this season because I think he's been exposed, and that's Alvarez. I think he's really been exposed. It ain't just his pace; it's his I don't know. He just seems like a bit of a fucking nutcase player. He like red mist. He doesn't think. Do you know what I mean?
But you say that. But we were talking before saying we love that bit about him. And in fact, his worst performances over recent weeks have been when he's almost gone missing. Like he's been told to be more restrained. And I don't think you can do that with a player like him. I agree that you don't want to lose a player like him through 5 bookings, sendings off and all that. But genuinely, he's the type of player who, if you take that away from his game, what else has he got?
He plays on instincts. I think players like that play on instinct.
Plays on the edge.
Plays on the edge.
Plays on the edge. Because there's a lot of players that play on the edge.
I think that's what we've been seeing because, you called him a coward the other day with the way that he played because it was a cowardly performance. Yeah. But we would never have seen that when he first came in.
I've never seen that coming. Never seen that. I thought, he's a big, I know stereotypical, but he's a big, brave, almost a little bit crazy Mexican who's heart on his sleeve, Hispanic, passionate and all that. And I love that. Yeah. I don't want him to lose that. That's brilliant. I love that. But maybe he's been told to rein it in a little bit. I mean, look, Iron Bruce saying he's a bit of a liability and all that. I get it.
I don't mind the liability side of it. I don't mind players that are willing to stick a fucking foot in because one thing that I really miss now, and I know you can't really do it in a modern game. Maybe it's just modern football I don't like. As much as a goal, I like a tackle.
Yeah,
sometimes you could be having a shit game if you're at the stadium. Sometimes you could be losing 1-0, 2-0. Somebody like Dawson will just go in and go fucking crash. I was just going to straight through.
Bring that up. He's double slide tackle against Leon. Remember that?
Yeah. That was amazing. It was Leon. Yeah.
That was like we all cheered it like it was a goal.
Yeah, I know.
And also Corral there. That's the rumours I've been seeing last 48 hours about Monaco looking at Alvarez on loan. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be a shame because it would be a shame because Guido is apparently going back to Betis. Fulkrug, so I'm told, he's desperate to get out. That could change, I suppose, once he's spoken to Potter, and things change.
Do you know what the good thing is about this is? I know we've waited. This has happened probably later than we wanted it to in terms of managerial change. But the good thing is that it hasn't gone on to the end of the season because remember what happened with Moyes, and it was too late because a lot of the players' heads had gone. Moyes sort of made some of them fall out of love with the club, so they wasn't for turning. It doesn't matter who was coming in. The good thing is about Potter coming in now is that he can hopefully, he's got to sell himself. He's got to sell himself.
Look. He can save the situation. He can. Yeah. So because we know that. I think when there's a bad situation that there clearly was, and it was developing, it was getting worse. The problems with him and the players were getting worse. Like you said, the rot sets in, and I think it becomes a stage for players, like it does for employers when you're at work, where you're like, I just fucking want out. I've got to get out of here, and it don't matter what. Yeah, so hopefully he can.
So I think coming in January is fantastic, and I just want all them players to fucking slate clean, start again, almost.
Well, here's the other thing as well, right? So when Lopetegui came in, he was credited with a slow transition. That's why all of a sudden we were seeing Souček come into the team and James Ward-Prowse initially, like even in pre-season, and all these other players. What the fuck's going on here? And he's like, he's got to give. He's being respectful to senior players. See, I don't agree with this approach. I think when a new manager comes in, I think it should be a clean slate. And it should be, I'm looking at this group of players. There is no seniority. We're a squad. And I'm going to pick you based on merit, not based on what you've done before. Because based on what you've done before is why you're 12th and 14th, blah, 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 blah. That's how I think he should do it. Do you think there is going to be an element of Souček having to play his way out of the team, which is what we were saying before, and
No,
other,
not.
or do you think he'll change it?
I don't think so with Potter. I mean, if you remember the Brighton teams that he had, a lot of them were from overseas and maybe some from within. But there was a lot of very young players coming in, like, early 20s and that. He wasn't afraid to throw them into the deep end. Even youngsters, technically, who were from overseas, coming in from other leagues, he wasn't scared to throw them in.
Yeah.
He was showing faith in them, and that's how it should be. Nobody should be in the team because of what they've done previously.
No, I agree.
And I hope, and I don't think he'll be like that. He hasn't got to, look, he knows what he's got to do. He knows that he's got to get the fan base back on side with the club, because he knows that will help the players on the pitch.
Do you think we've got problems at West Ham, like, not on the same scale as Man United, but do you feel like some of the problems that Lopetegui had, could it have been player power? Because what I will say is, if this doesn't work with Potter now, I'm not going to be looking at it. He can't be the manager at that point. You're going to have to start looking at the players at that point, because you look at Man U, whatever manager goes in there, they foul. The players will try for a little while and then they fucking won't, and they'll slip back into their ways. Do you think there could be a bit of a problem culturally at West Ham with the players that he's going to have to cope with, or do you think or do you put it all on Lopetegui? What's just happened?
I don't think. It's difficult. Our expectations generally are different to Man United's expectations. Let's be honest, right? Where we see ourselves, expectations, etc., etc. What I think has happened at Man United has been since Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ten Hag, and now with Amorim, some are still fucking around, for want of a better phrase. I don't think it's the play. I'm going to go back to the top again. I think we don't have a winner's mentality. I know we won that trophy, but in the main, we generally don't have a winner's mentality. If the owner of the club, Sullivan's, coming out before the Man City game and basically saying, "Oh, we expect to lose that one," I mean,
there you go.
It doesn't make you. It doesn't galvanise. The team and the club needs galvanising, and it needs galvanising from within. And we don't sort of breed a winner's mentality. Sullivan doesn't breed winner's mentality. Like we've said before, short-termism doesn't work in football. You need a plan. You need a longevity. That's why the Brighton model has been so successful, because they've got continuity, continuous continuity. We can't keep chopping, changing. I want Potter to work, not just for him and the here and now this season, but for the future of the club. If he has, he's young enough to have 3, 4, 5, 6 years at the club and take us to that next level, whatever that next level is in your eyes. You know what I mean? I think we need stability now, and we need stability, not just stability, but we need stability with a plan, with a progressive, something that we can see that's going on. Identity is so important. Players that we bring in, we need to bring in similar types of players, whether it be age or whatever it might be. But there needs to be a plan in place. There needs to be no scattergunning, basically, as you would call it.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing, is that Potter is not Sullivan's pick. Sullivan didn't want him. This was voted in by everyone else other than Sullivan. So he has caved. He has caved.
But if your employer that didn't want you, is that not odd in itself? Because Potter must know that.
I just feel like do you know what? I think Brady's growing in fucking influence in that club.
Isn't she friends with Potter's family?
She is. Yeah. Yeah. So, no. I think Pescasolido used to play with Potter, and the wives are friends. So, So, and there could be a good thing in that as well, because like we normally shaft our managers. You'd like to think that if they've got a relationship, it might be less likely to happen. They might look after him a little bit more. Because do you know what? I am sick of the merry-go-round with managers now, and Potter, after what happened at Brighton, maybe if he does well, because people will come sniffing around. We've not had this situation before. If you've got a manager that does well, big clubs will come looking for him. Maybe Graham Potter might think twice before making the jump next time. If he's happy, that is. Yeah,
I mean, look, it was a big jump, but I suppose it's one of them things where you don't want to let an opportunity like that go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's this? Ironbrew says, do you boys not find it interesting that Moyes wasn't really linked to clubs much until today after Potter got announced? Was he hanging around to see what happened with Loppy? Well, he's
Well,
only
no,
linked with.
Dycher's been sacked. He's been linked with Everton.
Yeah, he's only linked with the Everton job. He always is. He's always linked with Everton, like he is with West Ham.
Adam Bass says, if Moyes goes to Everton, do we think he'll come in for Soucek?
I hope so. I hope so. Be amazing.
And Iron Brew in Uesta said that what I always have said: 100% Soucek is his modern day Fellaini.
He will do that. He's always done that, Moyes, hasn't he? He likes a legacy player. He goes and grabs one. So, that could work well. That could work well.
Might do.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, mate, we'll start closing this up. Aston Villa. How do you expect him to set up? Do you think he'll try and implement? He can't really try and implement anything like massively tactically now. He'll probably go with similar to what they've been doing. I'm assuming because he can't change it. You can't change anything in a day, can you?
No, but what you can change is confidence. What you can change is, like you said, have possession, but have it in the right areas of the field, not just knocking it around the back. So he can change little things. I mean, there's got to be an element. I'm sure he's watched a lot of football in his time out of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think he's unaware of who we got in that team. I think he knows the players to some extent. Obviously, not personally.
And he will have seen the mistakes that we've made just recently as well.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that I think he'll probably take a little bit of information from some of the coaches at the club, whether it be in and around the academy. Like we said earlier, I don't think he'll be scared in coming forward and asking for information, maybe asking for help, accepting the help, speaking to Noble, speaking to people like that. You know, I think he'll go. We should and we will go strong. I think we'll put our strongest available out. Whatever he thinks that is might be different to what you and I think it is. You know, he might throw in Skulls or some of the youngsters. You don't know if he thinks they're better than that. Who knows? Look, I'm hoping it'll be tough. It'll be tough. Even Villa's supposed second string are a very well coached team unit. You know, they've got players on the bench who can come in and do a very, very good job. I think we can get something. Is there replays? Does it go? I don't even know.
I don't think there are. I don't think there are now. No,
I can't remember. It was different, wasn't it, in the cups? But
yeah,
I think we can win. Yeah, I think we can win. It'll be tough, but I think we can win. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go with. I was dreading it.
Oh, mate, so was I. I'm going to go over 2-1 win. I'm going with Corral, and I'm going to go with a. I'm going to go with a full Krug brace because I think what he'll do because he's a clever guy. You can see that straight away. Now, the first thing that you would think logically that I would do, if you look at a team that looks confused as fuck and you've been given one day with them, you know there's loads of technical ability in a team, John. You know there is, right?
Yeah.
So you go, right, boys, we're going to go back to basics. Everyone's got their jobs. He'll probably go over flat back four, and he'll just give everyone their jobs. And I think we'll set out to feed the striker. I think that's what we'll do. I think he'll be. I don't think he'll go over back three because I think if you've not been coached correctly to play that, it's a fucking disaster. You know, we've seen that. You know, I think that's what we will become, but I don't think he'll start with that. I think it'll be a back four.
Maybe not straight away.
Yeah, I think it'll be a back four. I think he will play with two CDMs as well because he's going to be conscious of the fact that we've been hemorrhaging goals. But I think you'll have players that will have freedom, John. There'll be players, you know, like Paqueta and like Kudus. So you'll have players that are being disciplined and holding their positions. I don't think you'll see Wan-Bissaka bombing up the pitch.
No.
And I reckon we'll be getting supply into Fulkrug if he's playing, that is. And I think he'll get a brace. We're going to score 2 goals.
I think we'll win 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't know if it goes to replays or not. I don't know.
Well, no, it all changed. I don't think it does.
No, there ain't no replays. They took it away. You're right. They took it away.
It all changed.
No replays. So
Duran can't score against us because he's banned.
Yeah, I am Brute Iniesta talking shit as usual.
He's banned.
That's Andy Irvine, isn't it?
It actually is. It actually is. Yeah,
it actually is.
Right, okay. That is right. So Hammers Mikey says 3-1 defeat with a Moody get a penalty.
Really bollocks is here.
You groupie
Hammers
bastard.
Mikey, are you ever positive, mate? Come on. No joking.
I say I'm going to ask you, Mikey. Right, honestly, has this not got you a little bit? I know you didn't want Potter. No. I know you didn't. But have you not watched the interviews after getting rid of Lopetegui? Because I didn't want Potter either. Is there nothing that you've seen here that makes you think, oh, maybe, just maybe, this could click? Surely.
No, I think I think earlier on in the chat he was actually impressed. He was happy with Potter, but I don't think he sees it as. I don't think Hammers Mikey thinks Potter can take us to the next level. But that's what I mean. Everyone's idea of the next level is different, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Always can.
Last time Hammers Mikey was excited, Toy Story 2 came out.
But the thing is, talking about the next level, I mean, the next level for us is top 4. Because I think...
No, it ain't. No,
I think the next level is top 4. No, the next level is top 4. What? No, because what I'm saying is 5th and downwards is all to do with sporadic form of clubs, and it's going to be different every year. So some one year you'll have fucking, Nottingham Forest doing a Leicester. So it's all, and you'll have Tottenham and Man United falling out of it. It will change around. I think we're in that group because we've been up there for 3 years now. So I think we're in and around, sort of should be competing for the European places. That's where we should be. We should be minimum top 10, but pushing for top 8. Yeah. Next level is going top 4. Yeah,
but ultimately, in a minute, we've got to get back to that level of competing for top 8.
Consistency,
we're not. We're 15, 14 or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Consistency, exactly.
Yeah. That's it. Right, anyway, that is it from me. And that's it from
you,
John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it from... I've just been I'm tired. Right, anyway, speak to you all later.
Take care, people.
Thank you for watching us, all 5 of you.
Come on, you Irons. Let's beat the fucking villains. Come on.
Come on, you Irons.